Good day, students. So for today's video, we will be learning all about how to use the general ledger. But first, let us define general ledger. So general ledger, it is used to sort all the entries made in the journal. So you need to sort out the entries made in the journal in chronological order. So chronological order, alam nyo naman yon, you start on the first date up to the last date given by the problem. For example, if the given problem is dated November 1, 2020 up to November 30, 2020, so in chronological order mo, i-record ang iyong journal entry at yung mga journal entry na nagawa mo sa iyong general journal ay gagamitin mo para mag-sort out ng mga entry to your general ledger. So we will talk about furtherly on that. And to group all transactions that affect individual accounts. So it means individual accounts, isusort out mo ang mga entries na para sa cash na accounts, para sa accounts receivable na account. So isusort out mo yan lahat. Okay. In order to facilitate the preparation of the financial statement. So before we proceed, this is the face of your general ledger. This is the face of your general ledger. May dalawang column na maliliit, may malaki, may isang column na divided into small columns, and then same dito, may column na maliliit, may malaking column, and may isang column na divided into small columns. Okay. So, what are the headings na ilalagay mo dyan? Okay. First, this same with the general journal. Ang ilalagay mo is the name of the company or the name of the owner. If the problem stated the name of the owner, yun ang ilalagay mong heading dyan. Pero, pag the problem stated the name of the company, ito ang ilalagay mo. Diyan mo ilalagay yung name ng company. So, for this discussion, we will be using the Leia May Santiago. Okay, Leia May Santiago journal entry. So, I've already prepared the journal entries of the Leia Santiago. Okay. Ito yung gagamitin natin para makagawa tayo ng isang general ledger. Okay? So, we go back to your general ledger. So, dito, ilalagay mo the name of the owner, which is Leia May Santiago. Okay. Now, for this one, ang ilalagay mo dito is the date. Alright? The date. But class, remember, if this is the normal course of a business, okay, pag ikaw ay isang certified public accountant or a bookkeeper of a company, the name of the company or the owner is dito ilalagay. Dito. Para pag i-check siya ng BIR or i-check siya ng accounting department is nandito na yung name ng company, TIN ng company, the nature of the business of a company. So, dito ilalagay lahat. Okay? Magpiprint ka, then ipipaste mo dito on the normal course of business. But if we are answering problems for school purposes, ganito yung gagamitin nating format. Nasa upper part ng iyong general ledger page ang name ng company. Para si teacher, alam niya na itong general ledger na ito ay para sa kay Leia May Santiago na problem. Para alam niya kung saan siya mag-check. Alright? At then, if ibabalik ni teacher yung trabaho mo, is alam mo rin kung saan ka nagkamali sa problem for the Leia May Santiago. Now, we proceed. So, dito ilalagay mo si date. Next is, dito, ang isusulat mo is the word particular. Next, dito sa column na divided into small columns, ang isusulat mo is the debit. Okay, because we are sorting, right? We are sorting the effects of the individual accounts. So, isusort mo lahat ng debit para dito, dito lahat ng debit, and dito lahat ng credit. Right? Now, next column, same sila ng face dito, di ba? So, ilalagay mo na naman si date. Next is the particulars. And then, next is, dito sa column na divided into small columns, ang isusulat mo is the word credit. So, those are the headings of your general ledger. Now, before we proceed on filling out, meron pa pala. Dito na area, ang ilalagay mo is the account title. Okay. Account title is very useful because we are sorting individual accounts. So, ilalagay mo dyan kung anong account title ang itong ledger na ito. Okay? In the normal course class, in the normal course of business. Okay? In the normal course of business class, ang isang page ay para lamang sa isang account title. For example, for cash. So, itong isang page na to or even dalawang page ng isang general ledger is applied only for cash account title. Bakit? Dahil isusulat mo ang day 1 ng transaction ng company up to the year end of the company. Okay? Because in the school, ang ibibigay na problem ng inyong teacher, kami na mga teacher, is for a month lang man. So, ang ginagamit natin is dinidivide natin itong page na to different accounts. But in the normal course of business class, ang isang page is para lamang sa isang account title. Dahil, example, if the company's kanang normal operation is nag-start siya on January to December, so maraming transaction na mangyayari, tama ba? So, ang isang page ay kulang para sa cash na account. So, ang gagamitin is more than 1 page or 2 pages in the normal course of business. But for school purposes, for discussion purposes, is dinidivide natin ang ating isang page ng ledger dahil nagtitipid tayo sa pages dahil mahal ang isang ledger. Alright? So, this makikita nyo lang yan kung paano dinidivide itong isang page para lagyan ng mga accounts. Now, before natin i-fill in dito, let us first go back to your general accounts. Your general accounts are the assets, liabilities, owner's equity, income, and expense. Alright. So, if you are sorting in chronological order, meaning November 1, if the problem is for November 1, 2020 up to November 1 to November 30, 2020, so, kung mayroong November 1, uunahin mo. Diba? Because in chronological order. And then, for the account title, ang gagamitin mo is eto na order. Uunahin mong isosort out ang mga transaction na naka-affect sa mga assets mo na accounts, sa mga liabilities mo na mga accounts, sa owner's equity mo na mga accounts, sa income expenses mo na mga accounts, income mo na mga accounts, and then expenses mo na mga accounts. Bakit ganito dapat ang order? Right. Bakit ganito dapat ang order? If you go back to your types of accounts, ang asset, marami siyang account title, right? First is cash, accounts receivable, prepaid expenses, which are rent and insurances, and then meron siyang non-current assets, which are the property, plant, and equipment, and then the liabilities. So, bakit natin ginagamit ang ganitong order? Because this is very useful. If makukuha mo na ang total, or shall we say outstanding balances ng mga accounts. Ang mga outstanding balances ng mga accounts ang gagamitin mo to create a trial balance. And in trial balance, kailangan ding ganito ang order. You start with the assets, you start with liabilities, so on and so forth. And then, pag you go back to your general ledger, so, doon ka kukuha ng outstanding balances para sa iyong trial balance, tama? So, doon mo makakuha na, so lahat ng dito na page is for assets. So, okay, lahat ng dito na page is for liabilities. So, hindi ka na, hindi mo na hahanapin si mga assets, ganon. And also, ito po talaga ang dapat gawin. Kailangan isort out mo ang lahat para sa assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. I hope you get it. I hope you get the point of the discussion. Alright. So now, we will start on creating your general journal for the account title cash. Okay. Another thing, class. Pag ang problem na ibinigay ni teacher ay meron siyang ibinigay na chart of accounts, those are very useful for you to sort out or to make your general ledger. So, yun ang gagamitin mo if may ibinigay siya na as you can see in the screen, may problem dyan, example na problem, na may ibinigay siya na chart of accounts. So, yan yung gagamitin mo on the order of the accounts para gumawa ng general ledger. Okay. So, we will start now. So, first is asset, tama? So, the very first account of an asset is cash. Kung walang ibinigay na chart of account si teacher, sa problem na ibinigay niya, you go back to your lesson on accounts. Diba? Na major accounts. Ang unang-unang account ng asset is cash. So, uunahin mong i-sort out ang individual effects or chronological, uunahin mong i-sort out ang mga entries for the cash account. Alright? So, I hope you get the point. Okay, so you will write here cash. Okay, so this is the cash. So, meaning, lahat ng makikita dito for the debit and the credit are the entries made from cash. For cash, I mean. Now, look at your general journal for Lea May Santiago na problem. Okay? As you can see, because we are sorting out the individual accounts from the entries of your journal in chronological order. So, we will start in November 1. May nakikita po ba kayong cash in the entry, this first entry? So, as you can see, the account is pesticide supply, spraying equipment, and Santiago Capital. So, we are first sorting out the entries for cash, which is an asset. Right? So, wala dito. We proceed to the next entry. So, as you can see, meron pong cash. At si cash dito na entry ay nakalagay sa debit side. So, debit side po siya. Ang kanyang amount is 230,000. Okay. So, meron tayong nakita, no? Na cash. Now, we go back to your general ledger. So, now, we will put the cash nga nakita natin sa ating general journal, which is nasa debit side. Right? So, ang ilalagay natin dito on the first column for the date is November. Right? So, anong date nyon? November 1. On the debit side. So, dito, these are all about debits. Now, anong ilalagay mo sa particular? The particular, ang ilalagay mo is the explanation. So, ang explanation ng entry na iyon is to record the additional investment of Santiago. Right? So, hindi mo po isusulat yung kabuuang explanation po noong entry. Ang ilalagay nyo lang po dito sa particular, dahil maliit lamang po ang area natin, tama po ba? So, ang ilalagay mo lamang po doon is the keyword. So, the keyword for that explanation is additional investment. So, ilalagay mo dyan, additional investment. Alright, keep in mind class na kailangan po check po ang nilalagay natin or ginagawa nating journal entry para po check ang ating general ledger and then para po balanse ang ating trial balance. So the given amount is 230,000. Alright, so isusulat natin dito. Align siya sa ating additional investment. 230,000. Right? So, we are done now for the first cash na nakita natin sa ikalawang entry. Now, we go back to your general journal for Leia May Santiago. So, we are done for this part. Wala nang cash. Ang nakikita mo is Santiago Capital. Leave it. Wala pa po tayo sa equity. Nasa asset pa po tayo at nasa cash pa po tayo. Marami pa pong cash sa mga transactions. Sunod, on November 2, makikita mo po dyan, the accounts are accounts receivable and pest control revenue. Alright? So, meron po bang cash? Wala. So, you proceed to the next. On November 3, the accounts are pesticide supplies and accounts payable. Wala din pong cash. So, we proceed to the next. Okay. For you, class, para po hindi tayo magkamali. If you are done recording this, pwede po kayong maglagay ng checkmark dyan. Pencil na checkmark. Para alam mo na itong cash na ito ay na-record mo na sa iyong general ledger. Now, we proceed to November 6. The account title seen is spraying equipment and accounts payable. Wala pa rin cash. Now, we proceed to November 8. Here it is. So, as you can see, meron po tayong cash. And also, it is on debit with the amount of 87,000. Tama po ba? So, balik tayo sa iyong general ledger. Alright. So, on your general ledger, same with what is happening on your general journal, hindi na po kayo magsusulat ulit ng November dito. Dito na po. Meaning, lahat ng mga dates na nandito is for the month of November. So, makikita po natin, okay, makikita po natin na sa November 8 po natin nakita na nakadebit si cash. Okay. So, ang ilalagay mo dito sa particulars is from the explanation. So, the explanation of the journal entry is to record the service rendered for cash. Okay. So, gagamitin po natin si keyword, which is service rendered. Huwag mo nang ilagay si for cash. Dahil ang ginagamit mo or ginagawan mo ng general ledger is cash naman po. Right? So, service rendered in the amount of 87,000. Okay, so you are done for November 8. Now we proceed to the next entry. So, you are done in here. Now, we proceed to November 10. So, for November 10, as you can see, meron po tayong cash. So, for November 10, as you can see, meron po tayong cash. Pero, hindi po siya nakadebit. Bakit? Nasa credit po siya. Mayroon pong indention, mayroong space, and then si cash. So, the cash is for debit in the amount of 28,500. Okay, so now, you go back to your general ledger. Dito tayo sa credit side. Alright, so diba you are sorting out. You are sorting out the individual effects of each of the accounts. Dito si debits, dito si credit. Alright, now, sulat mo na naman si November dyan. And what is the date for that? It's November 10. So, ang ilalagay mong particular is from the explanation. Right? So, the explanation of the problem is to record the repair on equipment. Okay, to record the repair on equipment, which is the keyword, repair on equipment. Wag mo pong ilagay na repair lamang. Dapat specifically saan ina-apply si repair on equipment. So, ilalagay mo talaga dyan si repair on equipment. Kung malaki po ang iyong mga handwriting, dapat po mag-adjust po tayo dahil maliit lamang po ang area na susulatan. Alright? Repair on equipment for the amount of 28,500. Okay. 28,500. So, you are done for November 10, credit na cash. Next journal entry is for the date November 14. So, as you can see, in November 14, meron na naman tayong nakita na cash account. And then, it is on the credit side with the amount of 17,000. Right? So, 17,000. So, you go to your general ledger on the credit side. So, it's 14. Huwag ka na namang magsulat ng November dyan dahil may nakasulat ka ng November dyan. And then, the explanation for November 14 journal entry is to record the payment of pesticide supply on account on November 3. Alright? So, payment of pesticide supply ang kanyang keyword. Okay. Payment of pesticide supply. In the amount of 17,000. 17,000. Okay. Class, if malaki po talaga ang ating mga penmanship at hindi po talaga kayang isulat lahat dyan, dito na area, is pwede po tayong, for example po, okay, pwede po nating ganitohin. Example, for November 14, dahil po malaki ang ating mga penmanship, okay, alright, so, payment of pesticide, dahil hindi po tayo pwedeng mag-write dito na area, right? So, pesticide supply. So, on the next row po tayo magsusulat, and then the amounts, hindi po natin isusulat dito na straight, dito po sa last word ng ating sentence. Dito po. So, 17,000 po ba yun? Hindi ba? So, andyan. So, sa last word po ng ating sentence, dun po natin ilalagay si amount. Dun po natin straight na ilagay si amount. Dun alignment niya. Alright? So, kasi po, kung isusulat nyo po dito si 17,000, for example, your users, your owner, may magko-question po siya kung bakit para saan itong word na supply. So, if ganito po ang inyong gagamitin, dito nyo po i-align, is meaning, ang inyong i-explain lang sa inyong mga user o sa readers ninyo sa inyong general ledger is karugtong po iyan. Okay? Karugtong po siya. Alright? So, payment of pesticide supply, and then dyan po yung amount. Now, we proceed to November 15. As you can see, in November 15 journal entry, wala pong cash. Right? So, walang cash. Now, on the next journal entry, which is November 17, alright, meron pong cash. On the credit side again. in the amount of 9,500. Okay, 9,500. So, balik ka po sa iyong general ledger. Right? So, kung tama po talaga ang inyong ginagawang journal entry, tama po talaga ang magagawa ninyong general ledger. So, November 17, on the credit side, the explanation is to record the payment of utilities expense. So, sulat mo dyan, payment of utilities expense. So, ito na po. Hindi po siya nagkasya dyan. So, dito po tayo sa next row. Right? So, dito nyo po ilalagay si 9,500. Okay. So, meaning magkarugtong po sila. Dahil andito po ang iyong amount. Next is on November 24. Right? On November 24, salaries expense and then merong cash. Merong cash again on the credit side. November 24. Okay, the explanation is payment of salaries in the amount of 51,500. Okay. Next. November 27. Meron na namang cash on the credit side again because there has been a withdrawal of cash. Day 27 and then explanation of cash withdrawal. Right? In the amount of 60,000. Okay, we are down to the last transaction, which is for November 29. And then, may nakikita po tayong cash on the debit side with the amount of 12,000. So, balik po tayo dito. Debit po. So, dito tayo sa debit. Alright? So, November 29, ang explanation po niya is to record the collected account from November 2. Okay, so collected account. So, ilalagay mo dito, collected account in the amount of 12,000. So, na-record mo na lahat ng forecast. Okay, dito tayo. So, dahil na-record mo na ang lahat ng mga individual effects of the account title cash, ito-total mo na po silang lahat. I-total mo si debit side at ito-total mo si credit side. So, in creating the total po, kung saan pong side ang pinakamahaba ang transaction. So, what I mean is, 'di ba, ito ang yung pinakamahaba na transaction. So, dito ka po maggagawa ng linya. Okay? Wag po dito. Wag po dito. Dito po. Kung para align po sila. Because, go back po tayo, accounting is an art. Para po, kung ang inyong owner is mag-a-ask siya kung magkano ang debit side ng cash at magkano ang credit side ng cash, is makikita niya agad dahil align po sila. Alright? So, if your teacher is not the same on my teaching, align po sila, pasensya na po. So, yan po ang nakagisnan po namin. Okay. So, yan po ang tinuturo ko po. So, maybe din po, because nagtrabaho din po ako sa accounting firm, is ganito din po nila ito total. Dapat align po ang lines nila. Alright? Now, total po natin. Magkano po yan? So, as an ABM student, you need to have a calculator. Best friend po natin si calculator. So, 230,000 plus 87,000 plus 12,000 is 329,000. Now, for the credit side is 28,500, 17,000, 9,500, 51,500, and 60,000. So, a total of, ang credit side po natin is 166,500. Now, we go back to the normal balances of the accounts. So, balik tayo dito. If we talk about asset, the normal balance of an asset is on the debit side. The normal balance of a liability is on the credit side. The normal balance of an owner's equity na capital, ang capital po natin, ang normal balance po niya ay credit. At ang atin pong withdrawal, ang normal balance po niya ay nasa debit. Ang atin pong income or revenue is ang normal balance po niya ay sa credit. At ang ating expenses, ang kanyang normal balance is on the debit. So, itong mga normal balances ng ating mga general accounts ay magagamit natin kung saan natin na side dito ilalagay ang ating outstanding balance. Right? So, because cash account is an asset, the normal balance is on the debit. So, cash is an asset and the normal balance of an asset is on the debit. So, dito po tayo maglalagay ng ating outstanding balance. Normal balance po talaga. Do not forget the double rule. 329,000 on the debit side minus 166,500 on the credit side. So the balance of the cash is 162,500. 162,500. So that is the balance of cash in the normal balance in the debit side. So, wag nyo pong gawin. Mali po ng aking mga estudyante minsan, or most of the time, ang kanilang mga mali is, dito po nila nilalagay yung balance. Bakit, ma'am? Dito po kasi yung maraming amounts, dito yung mataas. No. You need to use the normal balances of the accounts. Kahit pa po andito hanggang dito yung credit, basta po ilagay nyo po dito sa kanyang normal balance ang balancing makukuha nyo. Alright? So, now we will proceed. So, I've discussed kanina na in the normal course of business, kapag gumagawa ka po ng general ledger ng isang account, isang page, but for school purposes and for discussion purposes, is nagtitipid po tayo ng pages dahil mahal po ang mga ganitong libro. At para po magagamit natin sila in the long run of answering your problems given by your teacher, is ganito po ang ginagamit namin sa aming school. So, magli-leave po kami ng 2 rows. So, i-leave po namin yung 2 rows na yan. Andito po tayo, tama? I-leave blank mo yung 2 row na yan, and then magsusulat ka ulit ng word na account title. Right? And then magsusulat ka ulit ng date, particular, debit, date, particular, and credit. Right. So, nagsusulat po ulit kami nito. So, we are done with the cash. So, hahanapin nyo po Dapat asset pa po tayo. Hindi pa po tayo tapos sa asset. And dapat po is unahin nyo si current asset. Diba? Si cash is a current asset. So, go back tayo sa journal po natin. Right? So, just sa journal natin, may makikita po ba tayong another current asset? Okay, we are done with cash. Santiago Capital, dito sa pesticide supplies, spraying equipment, these are asset but a non-current asset. So, hindi pa po yan yung gagawa natin ng ledger. Okay? Maghahanap pa po tayo ng mga current assets. Okay? In chronological order pa rin po tayo on the dito. Ito pa rin po. Diba si asset, meron po tayong current, meron po tayong non-current. So, unahin natin ang mga current, susunod natin si non-current. Same with liabilities. Meron po tayong current, meron po tayong non-current. So, unahin si current, sunod si non-current. So, if we go back here, meron pong isang current asset, which is makikita po natin sa transaction November 2, which is the accounts receivable. Right? So, an accounts receivable, go back to your general ledger. Dito, account title. Accounts receivable. Alright. Big letter para klarong-klaro na siya ang account title. Nagagawa natin ng ledger. Okay. So, ganyan. And then, the process is all the same. Kung anong ginawa mo sa cash, yun ang gagawin mo sa lahat ng mga account title. Okay, class. So, here is a complete set of general ledger. So, as you can see, nag-una po tayo sa asset, which is the current assets, cash, and accounts receivable, and then notes receivable. Alright? So, as you notice po, as you can see po, is sinulatan po natin ng account title, which is the cash. Please be reminded also, class, na you are required to use pencil. Ballpen lang po ang aking ginamit para po clear sa ating video. But, you are required to use pencil para po pag may mga corrections is hindi po tayo allowed magamit ng correction tape. So, ginagamit ko lamang po ang ballpen is para po klaro at makita sa ating video. But for students is gagamitin po natin ang pencil para pag may mga erasures is malinis po ang ating general journal and general ledger. So, next is, as you can see, sa sinabi ko pa kanina, magsusulat ka ulit, mag-leave ka ng dalawang row na blank, and then account title, you write again the account title and what is the name of the account title, which is the next na the next na current asset, which is accounts receivable, and then sulat ka ulit ng date, particulars, debit, date, particulars, and credit. So on and so forth. Right? Okay. Now, as you can see, another key idea or key knowledge to remember po is, for example, kaparihan nitong accounts receivable, isang transaction lamang po ang meron sa debit at isang transaction lamang po ang meron sa credit. Right. So, ganito po ang gagawin natin. Diretso po nating ito-total kukuhain ang outstanding balance or balance ng accounts receivable. No? Same po nito, total. maglagay po talaga tayo ng total. Same po nitong accounts receivable. Wala po siyang transaction for the credit side. Pero ito total po natin siya. Lalagyan po natin siya ng double rule. Right? Hindi po natin ililive na ganyan lamang po. Dapat po maglagay po tayo ng total po niya or the balance. Meaning ito po ang balansi ng accounts ng notes receivable. Same nito, office supplies. Wala po siyang credit side pero naglagay po tayo ng balance po niya na naka-double rule na 4,200. Right? Okay. So, yan po ang ating general ledger. So, class, I hope you learned something on this video. I hope you get the point of the discussions. The next video is we will be learning all about how to create a trial balance. Para po makita ninyo na si general ledger, si general journal up to general ledger and trial balance, they are all connected. So you need to make or create a correct journal entries of each of the transactions for you to be able to get the correct balances of each of the accounts on your general ledger, and you will get a balance trial balance. Alright, so that is all for this video. I hope you learned something. See you on the next video. See you on the next discussion. Good day, class.